the continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu and the Sunday Igboho who is on exile in Benin Republic are issues that the President Muhammadu Buhari should address before the next general election and before leaving office. The same energy the president used to go to Kenya to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu, you could have also used that energy, if not because you are pushing ahead, to discuss about the things related to those agitation and say, okay, this is what we're going to do and do it here and do this one here so that we can be able to does tension. Instead of the president doing that, the president now went after them, throwing bomb, shooting them, then aided by the governor in Imo State, Hope Uzodinma. Justice, equity and fairness is very important in uniting Nigeria and in making governance to work. I think the continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu and the Sunday Igboho who is on exile in Benin Republic are issues that the President Muhammadu Buhari should address before the next general election and before leaving office. Because we are focusing on things that happen after, but we're not focusing on what led to all this agitation, which is caused 100% by President Muhammadu Buhari or people associated with him. When the issue of herdsmen started, when they were raping and killing in the forest in Ogun, in Ondo, when they were in Umunoj, when they were in Ebony, when they were in Enugu, when they were in parts of Imo, raping and killing, the president should have applied the same energy that he was using against every other group. But he was massacring them. And now people now felt they are not wanted. People now felt to want to take their land. People now felt to want to kill them. That is what led to this agitation. This agitation came as a result of people not having access to justice, not feeling protected by the state, and the president making appointments and sharing government patronages along ethnic and religious lines. So before we talk about Nnamdi Kanu issue, we'll talk about what led to the agitation of Nnamdi Kanu and members of the IPOB. These agitations were rooted in injustice. These agitations were rooted in marginalization. And that is why I said the president is pursuing an ethnic agenda, a hate agenda. And I said boldly, when we had the problem in South, government negotiated with the Niger Delta military, and they were able to find a common ground so that we can have free flow of oil, which accounts for majority of our revenue. When there was issue in what they call it, in Boronu and Yobe, some of the Boko Haram members that government captured, they said they have trained them and they admitted some of them into some agencies because they have repented. Then when there was issue in North Central, government was thinking of how to, designate some areas for grazing and so on and so forth for those people that are fighting and killing those farmers. Now you have people talking about marginalization, talking about injustice that is manifest, being carried out by the president. Then instead of you say, okay, let's address the Southeast marginalization issue. Let's discuss about inclusiveness. Let's discuss about including them in relevant top agencies of government that are even qualified to be in. Some of them are next in rank and you remove them. Let's discuss about appointments, because this country belongs to all of us. So it is their right, not a privilege that we're expecting from the president, because the constitution made a provision for federal character. It's a constitutional thing. So instead of the president doing that, the president now went after them, throwing bomb, shooting them, then aided by the governor in Imo State, Hope Uzodinma. Instead of calling people to a round table to discuss the remote issues that led to this agitation, you are busy throwing bomb and shooting them, and that is how this thing escalated. That same energy the president used to go to Kenya to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu, you could have also used that energy, if not because you are pushing ahead, to discuss about the things related to those agitation and say, okay, this is what we're going to do and do it here and do this one here so that we can be able to does tension. But you just picked him, locked him up. But you will not use the same energy against the bandit chief that is kidnapping people, against the headers that are attacking people on the expressway, against the different terrorist groups that are armed and abducting people on the highway. They collect ransoms, some go to Niger and Chad near their backyard there and stay. Use the same energy you used to adopt Nnamdi Kanu to go and get the you will not. And that's why people feel this is a kind of ethnic hate agenda. So as a leader, you must make everybody to have confidence that they can be treated fairly and they can have access to justice. So that's why I said the trial is baseless. And the President Muhammad Buhari will leave office without achieving anything with the trial. That I can tell you, I can beat my chest on. Because injustice doesn't work. So what you do is that there's provision in the Constitution. I don't know whether section 174, I can't remember the section. You can discontinue the trial and adopt political solution. There's a judgment already from the High Court. You know, my head, I've said government should adopt political solution. Call everybody to a ranting. Stop listening to those people in Imo State like Hope Uzodinma who is telling you keep throwing that bomb and shooting. That will not solve the problem. When people like us speak, Uzodinma will tell you, oh, we're sympathetic to a bomb. No, we are sympathetic to issues of justice. We are sympathetic to issues of fairness, equity. That's what we are sympathetic to. And it's so disappointing that you are governing people from Imo and other governors, even Ebonyi and so on and so forth. What you should do is that there is issues among the people you are governing. Call a political ransom. Advise the president. Let's adopt the political solution and discuss these issues and say, okay, how do I address the issues that led to the agitation, to the marginalization? Or are you saying the people from the southeast does not have a right for the agitation to be addressed? That you run a country where the over 17 security related agencies in the country will be manned from people from one section of the country or one religion? What kind of nonsense is that? It's their right, not a privilege. And that's why I feel that these things must be addressed. Not talk about the fact that all the promises the government made in restructuring and all those things turns out to be nonsensical comments now. Because the government have been unable to even make one step towards restructuring the country. Apart from that, it's obvious that the president does not have the capacity. It's also, it looks like it's deliberate not to restructure the country. Because if you restructure the country, political restructuring, even economic restructuring on the issue of value-added tax, states can collect their VAT and pay some percentage or whatever to the center. This can make some of the states to work hard. But when people gather in Abuja and share money, they go back to their state and they are lazy. But if you allow people for economic activities to thrive in states, that can also help the republic to be buoyant. They know this struggle over rotation of power presidency. Why is it difficult to restructure and say, okay, power should rotate between north and south and put it in the constitution? Automatically it reduces tension. And this is some of the reasons why people like us are going to the aspiring and wants our people to elect us from Idato to go to the House of Representatives under the PDP platform. So that apart from effective representation for our people, to address our erosion problem, our infrastructure problem, ensure our roads, which we don't even have any federal road that is working around our area today, issues of electricity distribution and generation, we don't even have anyone. We don't even have a working health center that can solve immediate needs of our people in the rural area. Apart from finding federal ways to get federal interventions to address those issues. One of the key things our people want is they want a restructured republic. Because if Nigeria is restructured, every state will develop at their own pace and in high speed as well. There will be heavy competition that will help to grow the economy. Running everything from Abuja, including health center. You want to buy mosquito net for your health center, you have to run it from a primary health center and so on and so forth. These things are ridiculous. No nation in the world operates this kind of system. So ensuring that we have a true federal structure in working and in principle and in document is one of the things we tend to do. If we don't fix Nigeria now, Nigeria is going to collapse. It's already collapsing in terms of economic crisis, security crisis, religious crisis, ethnic crisis, marginalization issues. But we still have a little window to checkmate it. And if we miss that window now, everything is going to be lost.